ý trồng sai sự đời tận nơi số móng của hàng trong vài ba nung này lúc trồng liền đôi tí có bé chọn sen có o rồng xe tàu đặc tuần chi ý trồng sai sự đời nhớ trong đời số móng tận nọ do sự nhớ trong rồi nào của cho bé một sai cho ý lúc cùng họ của tôi cho mấy cái nhớ trong sang Wisconsin tàu một kẻ hở thiên cho sớm móng cho của tôi cho nhớ trong sang Wisconsin lúc sen chi là tàu ba tới chạm mấy cái giá tà lò giờ lý nhớ trong đặc nào của thì là một thà cho kỳ nọ xin chỉ đối plea dùng xe giải tỏa ý trồng sai sẽ đợi thì cả là sai cho số mong chặt tới như trong lúc trò liên tục nút có bé chọn xin go o lúc còn họ cũng tốt tròn mấy cái như trong sang Wisconsin muốn lúc bé hoa tia Veterans of Foreign War là do là lulu hoa tia VFW tấm một cái hở thiên cho số mong cho cũng tốt tròn nhất sang Wisconsin lúc tiền gì là tàu ba tới chạm mấy cái giá tà lò như trong lúc trò liên tục nút có chọn xin go o như trong lúc trồng Milwaukee sang Wisconsin chuẩn xin nó cũng chấp một sai cho đầu kỳ nọ
is to honor our Lao veterans, and I would ask that they come forward. Yes, we want everyone up here to be honored, sir.
President Mao Sure.
Good morning. All my friends and veterans who are here today, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you for my friends giving grant. So every year, he not forgot my organization and others come to join the convention 100 years in state Wisconsin. Thank you, David Green. And also, today is very important day. I heard our keynote speaker, General John. Yeah, everything you say that is top my heart. During we still fight on the front line with the Vietnam War. Just thank you. I learned a lot of things. Thank you. And today I bring my group 35 veterans here to join this event and in a meeting or celebration here. I will appreciate and all of my friends. We fought together, we work together, we have a casualty together in the past more than 46 years ago. I still remember. And I hope that everybody still remember during the war was over. Let me talk a little bit myself. After 1975, my General Wang Pao and American CIA, they moved to this country. Communists not follow the peace. Yeah, in this side agreement in 1973. So they catch our military leader, that catch King of the Laos, to put in the, they say put in a consecration camp, but finally it's not true. We don't have information until today. Yeah, why we back to the jungle to resistance in North Vietnam and Laos government, communists again, myself with my military and also my my major, he is the chief battalion 225 for me. But 1981, 22, he got killed. And many people don't have food to eat because starving. And that time is very, very hard for us. Yeah, we don't have food, we don't have a medical, but to treat the people, we don't have a bullet and a gun to fight with them. That time is very hard. But in 1982, so I and many militaries decide to cross the Mekong River to Thailand. And after I reached in Thailand, I still participate with join with my own leader, military came to fight away to back to take some military who behind in Laos. Until 1989, I decided to take my family come to this country. When I come to this country, it's everything new for me and all my people. We went to work and they say Chinese people for us, myself too. During that time, it's very hard. And I called General Wang Pao, come to Warsaw, Manhattan County, talk to Mayor in Manhattan County, the locations in government, and try to explain for everybody to understand us. And that time is very hard for us. But last year, I thank you for the Wisconsin state governor, Tories even signed the bill for May 14, recognize our Hmong and Lao people. And that matter, VFW contact me and us come to join like in this event today. Many events I bring my group to join that. I appreciate. And also American Legion, and they want me to join with them. And so many like a Memorial Day or another thing they have. Yeah, that is very nice for all Hmong Lao veterans. And thank you for the location in state, Wisconsin, and other state, and also United States, and consider us come to this country. We will start to follow the United States local or state and federal policy, routing, and testing, and every law so that we obey the law. And under the law, so everything should be good for our community. And we use our children. Our children have high education, and they'll come to some is how the community grew up, and some is go to join the military, like Navy, many Navy, Army is Marines are my people, the younger generation that I really appreciate to protect this country for safety. That is like we did it before. And I thank you very much for all our guys. We work together very special in my brothers, David Greens never forgot me. Thank you, David. Yeah, thank you. And also General, everything, and also State Commander, who here today, I know a lot of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, as we remember the things that these fine gentlemen have done for our country, you know, for all of our Vietnam veterans, you know, you may or may not have interacted with them when you were over in Vietnam, but we have quite a few Vietnam veterans here who owe their lives directly to these gentlemen here. So please, you know, as we, walk away today, take a moment to say thank you. You know, it's very important that we don't forget that we have people in other countries who fight on our behalf. And we need to remember them, not forget them. So with that, what I would like to do is I do want to present each one of these fine soldiers here with one of my commander's coins. So if you could please have them, I would say General. Oh yes, please do. You're part of this. I'm kidding. I love you. You want to stand right here? We're going to have a file right down the front. Why don't you stand right there?
Thank you. Thank you. cụ tông một cái sĩ thản theo đuổi giảm long va thiên nó sửa xong uy tụ thời cho nhớ trong lúc công học lao veterans nhớ trong sang Wisconsin thả cho còn lúc công học của tu cho America tông một cái hở thế kiến cho mong cho của tu cho nhớ trong sang Wisconsin hay thế chỉnh chỉnh bộ lý trả chuẩn gì nó cũng cho bên một số đồ kỳ nọ
lúc đó bây giờ nó chỉnh chỉnh là chắp đầu bao nhiêu tới xong để chỉ li xong rồi nó ở chia là một là giờ chỉ thọ ở ít phát cho bộ cho chỗ để bị phân phối luôn cụ tu công cụ tu tròn nó chỉ hay nhớ California Minnesota Wisconsin là một số nó chỉ giờ bị xã cả lúa bao bị lấy nó mà nó mà giờ ít nó chỉnh chỉnh chắp đầu lúa trồng hư nó thế lúa cho cụ tu tròn lúc tết chờ nó thì thế rồi giờ chủ tết chủ chờ này lúa này chờ bây giờ được tua để lo lúm America chỉ tua recognize honoring cho bây giờ để tên nụ và cầu chỉ dùng nhau lúc tết chờ là chúa và cho trò giải bỏ mà lúc nào giờ nó chỉ chơi hay nói cái tên trà thế trồng cụ tu tròn bây giờ lúc xưa họ cho nên bây giờ đừng America thì rồi những chỉ lần bây bộ đi trả但是mà lúc nào giờ họ chỉ chơi ở lúa nhưng lắp bao bây thì bây nhưng ba lúc tây lúc chờ thế thì họ nói vậy họ chỉ chơi phía sau bây giờ cũng thao trâu đó bắt thành là chúa tụi cho lúc còn cũng tụi trò nó và nếu một quan tăng chạy tiếp tục thế là thế chứ thế số trang cho cái cả luôn là chắc là một bỏ bây chắc là một bao bây tiền tiền chỉ họ nói họ dùng họ nói là chỉ chơi nữa cũng thao phá bây giờ lùi nó rồi cho tụi chờ cho bao lùi thì cái hay lùi cho lùi thì nó thì chủ là thì trong lùi nó chỉ bây mua vậy ý giờ thì lùi chơi dùng một hai sao ra đó nên chỉ dùng hai gian thôi họ thì giờ lùi chơi lý nó lùi chơi có tuần cho tiền cho anh chị nó chỉ sẽ được hai lùi chuột gì bây giờ được nó yếu tố hai lùi cả trâu lì lùi tủ ngân khải nhưng lý nó mà lùi chơi bây tuần mà lùi tuần cho bây tiền gì chỉ bây lùi trâu bây hai là bây trâu hai tiền lùi tiềnอยู่不有有sẽ được nó có ý có cho sẽ được nó sẽ ra kiểm tra tí dạng của bây là khu xì lô là khu xì bây hai省里nó chứ bây hai chỉ tàu ra thì bây ba lô bốn nó lô chỉ ba bây này mà thì giờ nó một cái pha rồi bây giờ tu chờ thế cho bao hồ lử thì bây hai lô mà hai có một省nhớ lên nó chỉ bây giờ hai chỉ tàu đây giờ thì liu li nó tất chỉ bây dùng xe ô tô cho họ thì lô lá bao bây nó giờ có chỉnh chế họ còn nu mà nu nó chỉnh chế hơn nữa nu nó vậy nu bao nhiêu tuổi trong người nu chỉnh chế chập rồi lúa mua giờ trên giờ chỉ lúa tua số đấy ít tụ tây rồi chỉ mua thì nó bị đại cái ưu tiên nó cho là bù rồi sẽ được với khó cái recognition cho sẽ được nó chỉ có nó dễ khó chỉnh chế cửa nu nó này tất cả là số cái ấy đồ là một sự kiện cho những sự kiện là tam đầu lúc sau đi nhà trong này nó này giờ đi nhà trong này nhà chúng ta sẽ đi nhà chúng ta kia họ sẽ cũng trong yeah dùng xe thì nó cũng bắt đầu là sử dụngตัวลูกของเขาก็ตัวจะLao Veteran of American Incorporation nhớ cho sang Wisconsin là tàu gì lúc xong rồi xong nàoนู่นgiờ là cho cái AW giờ là lúc convention mà để bị sai chân tông là tự qua tới ý bùa tới xong là lui vì MW mà là muốn tận tàu ba nhà họ nhà này cho Korea War Việt Nam War là War thủ tướng là bờ nhau thành ra nó chỉ cú thứ thản tàu rồi cú đã cam mới với làm gì lúc nào bị tôi nó dễ có chỉnh chỉnh cân cầu đi vì thế chỉnh chỉnh là mà giờ bị cho cú tu chờ nó giờ bị tàu kia processing nó cho những lo chấp lời nhau tới giờ American chỉ ý giờ lúc American Legion nè giờ nó chỉ giờ lúc rồi nó VFW nó chỉ giờ nó mà bị kia thầu sẽ được kia ổn định thở mà bị là bị cụ chỉ bảo thì sẽ yêu trả bị tiền một tàu nó thì sĩ thầu cụ là kia mà cụ phải nhảm chơi thì phải nhảm đào lỡ thả nhớ tàu state chỉ tàu cơ lỡ tàu hu cụ một sản phẩm tàu thì cụ phải tàu cụ trả tiền cụ bỏ vào nó together là giờ zero này phun ra bỏ chi này chỉ tàu cơ cụ một bia tàu ta chỉ lấy thêm mà chơi lỡ mà chỉ có cụ chơi này phun ra bỏ chi này tua thì cụ đưa hà lỡ mà trong tua chỉท่านผู้เชี่ยวชาญละตัวคุณน่ะจำลงโลคนนั้นลงท่าโล
ตาเสือเปลืองตัวแล้วเที่ยมันจังลูกของหัวน้อยเที่ยอย่าลูกจังเลยเที่ยวิธีลูกน้อยสีหลอนแท้หังละน้อยเจเที่ยเราชิดถาจะจำเปียวแล้ววัวพันเนี่ยเป็นมินโซตาเลยเป็นมามัวมองเก็บป้าจะชิชญัวที่สิเป้เราตัววิสกันเซนนะกูตองชิงกันมันทำวิวส์เป็นมินโซตาเนี่ยที่ก็ปวดนี่ป้ากูจะกูนี่ป้าหังเจกูเที่ยหลังดาวว่ากันมันเนี่ยทอนis even ชิดถาเจกูตองจังกูเที่ยมุงทอเลยมัวจังต้องเตะไปหลอกมีชีจะหลอดพลูรุนน่ะเตียเป้ยิงของที่ตุนายในพุ่นปอเตียนอเจถอยตรงนี้นอแล้วเจ้ากับกูรักก้ามติโตจะ VFW นอเจลูเชียนเตอกูจิเป้าเลยนะใช้ยมติโตป้าเตเลยเยอะว่าเจกูเทเลมันดาลถาต่อหางเราเจตุนายต่อเทียเคียกูมีชีเจเป้มาเลยวันยัดตัวเป้เมรสุตาโอเจเป้ว่าต่อสเตย์นอเจมาอัพพลายจันต้องต่อมูตัวตีเดียวดีเจแล้วมามัวจันต้องต่อจีเจชงเทียตุชีเทียจันต้องต่ออุณาตัวเจแล้วมาว่าจันต้องต่อลิงก็จะตัวเป้เจเป้มาเทียมัวจันการเราเลยจันนะทองการเราเลยจันนะเรายิ่งชีมูชีลาลีนะชียงเชียว่าใจนอเจเซเนเตอร์ว่าเจอเพรสกีนั่นยาตุญาต่อเวทนาแฟเทียเพสนั่นก็เงินนักกุฐานเต้าเราเจนกุเทเดียวเลยจะละทองกับป้าว่าจำเปียวว่ามัวเป้โปรจำเปียวจีพันเลยนะเราจะจ้าว่าอีเต้าเราจีพันเจ้าว่าเจมาว่าเราจะจ้าว่าอีจีเปล่าเจเทียมมาเรียเราพันคนเดียวอยากเขาถอเป้พันต่อเลยเองก็ว่าเนี่ยเมื่อสาย officially ทุลอเลยกุฐานนั้นเต้าจนเท่าเลยนะเจเลยจะ VFW นั้นเกรนเทียเคยแล้วมาติดต่อตัวกว่าแล้วมาโชว์อีเมลแล้วปอบเป็นว่าแซ่แล้วมาโชว์อีเมลตัวก็กูมุ่งชี้แล้วแต่กูจะเจ้าเลยขาจะมุ่งชี้แล้วต้องมุ่งชี้ฐานเต้าเราเจมุ่งนั้นเต้าป้าวีเราอยู่เจ้าต่อไม่ได้สารลุงเราตัวเนื้อตาที่ชี้เราเจ้าหัวหน้านะเจ้าสเต็กแคมเมนเดอร์เลยตัวจะจังเลยเจแล้วมาลีปุ่นจังเจลูกหล่ออย่ารู้เราว่าเปอร์เซ็นต์ตัวมองเทียมปลาอย่างนั้นพุ่งปอเทียจงตัวกลในนกมันดังเราหมดตัวจ้านายพลบล็อกกองเตนนั่นนะพุ่งปอวันนี้เจแล้วเที่ยวมารักกันได้เจถอแล้วป้าน่ะสู้เจอใจน่ะคุณชายเที่ยข้าคุณมันชายจะแล้วเจ้าเป็นหมู่หยอกเขเจคุณดาเซเนเตอร์ถ่าเจเนี่ยโอ้ยาแล้วจะน่าเจนี่หมู่เต้าน่าจะถอแล้วคุณมาเรียนลันดากำลังยำร้องเรากำลังเจเราตาเจ้าถ่าเจเชื่อเตียยาเลยเจหมู่เจคุณเที่ยวมาหมู่ดาแล้วถ่าแกว่าตัวหัวหน้าเราพอแต่ตัวเถอะตัวเถอะยัยตัวนิชเจลุสเตวิสแคนเซนตันต่อตัวจอยวีเอ็มรับอยู่ฮะเจนี่คุณมากูซื้อหมูซื้อหล่อเลยแท้รัวจริงจังอยู่เราอยู่จริงจังรัวแท้นอนมาเจว่าถกเกอเจใจนอนเราเที่ยวมาเจเรายังไม่ได้แพร่จะรักกันได้เป๊ะแล้วมั่วอีเทียยีปวดแต่ตัวจากกูตัวตัวอเมริกันเวียดนามเวทนาเจไปที่อเมริกันแล้วนั่นเต้ารู้เลยแท้เจใช่น่าจะเลยเฉลี่ยพันเขาที่ไปเที่ยวหมู่กล่องแล้วเป็นกรีนเบย์เจเลยรูปเป้มันเลยยิ่งวันล้อใหญ่อุ่นเอาเท่านั้นเจเป้หมู่เป้เจเลยต่อเมื่อได้แพร่เมื่อนั้นต้องแต่จะรอรักกันได้เป้จะเป้รู้สึกว่าเป้ว่าจะที่เมื่อจงตัวย่อเลยตัวเมื่อเอาไปตัวตัวแต่จะว่าสเต็กคอมเมนเดอร์เลยจะลอกกินนะแล้วตัวว่าเป้โจเขาเจวิตเอาเป้จะน่าจะเลยตะการเราชิสเจนเป้ตัวตัดทีละโอ้เจ้าเราเทียบเป้ละตัวตัดทีอย่าเขานะอย่าเขาว่ามาลีป้อรู้นะจะตาชินะอย่าเป้อย่าเขียนะจะเป้เขียเราจะวีแอปเราอยู่นะอย่าจ้าว่าเลยรักกันได้เป้แต่ชิลังที่อย่าให้จะให้อย่าเป้หมู่ต่อฟินเอาโฮมเซอร์วิสแต่ชิลังว่าตุจีเสียตาเลยชิพูดเราไปชินะจะหรือลากุชป้อชิลุลาสกันเซนนะจะตรงนี้เถอะจะเป้ต่อรักกันจะนอถ่าจะต่อสเตทถ่าจะเริ่มมาลีมัว very special ตัวเป้họ lu la vis can chen na ne tu pa li nu pe ta lang ga la je le no de i xiong la pe tong ka pe che tu ko de nang go tu to ko chi tu ma nya pa chan ta ko hong kan chi to tu la ka tao na ji ta sina le wo li na ro pe sina de pe yin chi ling go vi de pe chi mo de di dia po ko plau de dia po ko plau la i cha de mo ta chi ku tha chi mo hai a laกูป่าเลยจนโตตัวไม่ตัวย่อเขาไม่ว่ากี่นะยาคนนั้นเป็นแลสายแต่แล้วเมื่อซาจะมุ่งยอดตัวชี้ตัวเกิดแล้วเมื่อซาตัดสเต็กมั่วเลยกูเท่านั้นแต่สิ่งแต่ในยังนั้นแต่ยาอเมริกาจ้าเจริญเจนี่ชัวร์สีนะเดี๋ยวนี้มั่วโอลินาเจริญถอนนี่เลยเดี๋ยวนี้ปลอมตัวนะเจยาต่อ military แล้วตัวก้าตัวเจนี่ยังชี้ตัวหนึ่งนะเดี๋ยวเขาเนาะยัยเขาเจแต่สิ่งนั้นเขาไปลูกของเขา Wisconsin Law Veteran of American Incorporation nó chỉ là tập state là provide base nè nút nó vậy nút chẳng chứng chấp lờiว่าไปตัวกล่องแล้วจะ VFW nó ở lấy chờไปเป็นทางการที่ officially จะlấyปอไปเว็บไซต์lấyปอไปจะอีเมลปอnóจะnhớ lại thật chỉ nên sẽ là bắt đầu long cái là những mất chỉ là tôi bị ưu ái tôi kia chỉ tao là hai lấy chơi luôn luôn mà tôi lấy tao mua chỉ con nó khó và kia cho họ luyện thế là chọn luôn nào thì bây giờ mà xí nó lấy một cái tận thế thì chúa nhà tôi nhà này tem tôi nhỏ mà u phong yêu cho lấy thọ cơ mà họ tai mình nó sẽ lùi ra hai trà con nó cũng bỏ đi giờ khỏi nhua cơn gọi chỉ tại xí là lớn lớn bỏ cả bé mu đó là kia tôi cho này nó school high school college school nói bây giờ anh mình chú mình chỉ li nói cả và đi tiêu cho cái đó giờ nó cả bên mua liền đó giờ bây giờ tàu mua liền là mua thế giờ bây chỉ cho cái chế của sa thì chính thế tiêu nó cho bây chế nè giờ tàu nó cho bây chế là mà nhung cơ chỉ dùng gì liền khó bây sa nè chỉ lúc nào bây chỉ dùng mua lưỡi giả cho là thả để bây chuột thả cho bây cho cái thế là thế bây xí ba liền bắt ta này bỏ rồi là tua bây tệ rồi mới cho mình là cho là pu rồi bây đòn tàu rồi là thế lúc nào hiện lúc chỉnh cần gọi đi lúc nào giờ lúc trò liền tu lúc tỷ cầu chỉ xong ở trên này có lúc sợ có mong là pi là cho nó chỉ tụi này phun bắt ta tua đây là phun tròn đây là nửa ponท่านnày phun là bỏ rong cho nửa pon cho này phun bò rong nửa tụi trâu chỉ nhớ là nung nhung pon chỉ nhớ là vấn đề to một cái thì chỉ cú rong xe thì cú tuần chỉ nửa kiện su nụ chập sai edify này chỉ có chơi researchก็จีใหญ่ตัวตั้งตัวตีนี้ไปยังหลวงเราท้ายที่นี่จีหนึ่งนี่มัวเจียนจีมองว่าเดี๋ยวมัวตอนชาปูเราที่เชยจีนี่จีหนึ่งกุดทองนี่เจ้า very special ตัวนี้วิธีนุ่งกุนจีเกี่ยวตัวไหนพวกนั้นนี่หายเดียวว่าจะมองเนี่ยสาย edify ปวดมัวเลยเดี๋ยวป้อกับจีเลยสิกูจะจีมัวเท่แต่สิชัวร์เลยจะรัวกำลังเกี่ยวตู้จังเนี่ยเราจีพัฒนาคุณมีเช่นนั้นนี่ยงเสียตัวก็เกิดที่ยันขณะนี้เขาว่าวันนี้เสด็จเจ้าเท่นู่นน่ะก็ตัวว่านี่นะป้าเขาบอกขณะที่ไม่ใช่จอกับไปเสด็จเขาป่อที่เขาป่อในจานนี้ที่ป่อตัวในพลอเมริกันหุ่นในตัวหายนั่นนี่ไม่สินตัวเป็นเตาหังวิเทียนนิวเชียนในตัวจอยัดตีมงชิมัวเขานุ่งยงโจป้องเจนี่เขามุดโจจีเกิดเราได้เจนี่ป่อจะไปจะเจนจีนะเจแล้วจะสเต็กคอมเมนเดอร์ตัวนั้นจะจ้องตัวนี่ป่อแล้วจอได้ไปเรื่อยๆนะเจบุรีที่จะสเต็กคอมเมนเดอร์นะแล้วยันเดอร์มั่วพาวเวอร์giờ lấy cho nó tiền nô nó chỉ tao đã nó nè chứ giờ lấy giá xí thiết tao nó chỉ biết tao cái này là thế chứ biết mà xin ba giờ lấy xin kia liền nó một些当地用来讲真还对嘛mua nó有một tao giờ biết sao biết chúng ta thế họ không chơi này tao họเขา真还เขาgiờ là giờ sự bên bên gạo tua nó giờเขาnàyเขาไอ้ลินเธอสิว่าเจอตอนนั้นเป็นต้นว่าเขาว่าเจอวิธีที่ว่าบริษัทนี้ตัวป้าเขาเห็นหุ่นจะจอดเลยเฉลี่ยปอที่ว่าจอดจะหน่อชื่ออเมริกันยัดต่อสเตย์ที่เราจะว่าตุ้จออเมริกันยัดตาเราที่จะเชื่อต่อสินเอายัดต่างที่นี่ตัวที่ว่าจอดก็นะชัปเตอร์ที่จอมปวดจะไวเซอร์ว่านู่นนั่นนี่เฉลี่ยพยายามตัวนู่นนั่นเราอยู่ไปอยู่จีนใช่ไหมที่จะต่อเจเราทอดสายจะใจนั่นเราอยู่เกาหลีใช่ไหมจะเป็นหมู่เกาหลีเราตุ้ต่ออีจานู่เราตุ้มจอดไปรู้ว่าใช่ที่ไหนจะนู่นน่ะจะอะไรหาเราตุ้มมีแต่อยู่ไปอยู่จีนใช่ไหมจะนู่นกว่าจีของนี่ก็ตุ้มมีแต่เราเลยถ่าจะถ่าเจนี้จะตัวเดียวไปอยู่จีนใช่ไหมจะชิปอดเดียวหรือช่องเชื่อเลยอยู่ไปจีนนะจะเลยจ่าเลยอยู่ไปมาไปเจอว่าจะเลยอยู่พยายามจุไปมุนเดียอย่าไปเจอว่ามาอย่าลูกนั่งตันได้เจอรงจ่าแต่สิจะเลยจ่าเราไปพยายามเจ้พยายามไปจ่าล้อเลยตัว因为老人弄了叫他来到省台的，被那高铁，被学校的，被我到的话要供到楼，被我被什么什么家，就是到楼那么，来学校是真，你来人才在要给，这来啥要 credit 的，来我那被么啥个，被叫真的的，来考 credit 个啥写呢呢？我的现在的还得过的，来叫那就要多的那些他嘛，人才在来帮来考 credit 的天呐，多的。เลยตัวนี้จีป้าเลยปอมบาเจอินจีอเมริกามาเลยจอดเจก็แล้วที่ตัวนั้นเขาที่เราเสียเราเลยที่นั่นกันนี่ต่อต้นนะกูไม่ใช่สายยาลีสิ่งที่ตัวหายเลยเท่าเกี่ยวมัวหายตัวนี้แต่ต่ออยู่แล้วก็ต่อเจ้าปอมบาเป็นมัวโจโจตัวเชี่ยตัวหนึ่งยาสเตวิสกันจินแล้วเคยแบงกูเดี๋ยวไปต่อชิดต่ออีเชี่ยตัวปอมบานั่นนะนี่อย่าตัวเจอที่อย่างก็อย่าเชื่อตัวเติมปอมบาพอเราที่เราตัวที่ชิดต่อมุปอมบากับเป็นมัวชัวมัวเป็นยาหัวเทียนน่ะ
แต่ฉันน้อยกันเลยไม่จะต้องทุกคนไม่สนใจช่วยแข่งขันเป็นแชมป์เลยนะ
ข họ nó có chỉ cái lên nung chúng tụi nó trái nó là pan trăm bèo nó chỉ là nung chỉ estimate thì chúa và ít phátแต่แรกnó chỉ trăm bèo tới ở trái và newspaper tới nhau Everton chỉ là hai linh đó chỉ chỉ và biết tụt thả tới stay nó tất cả mọi luôn chỉ trái nó chúa biết bớt project tớiแรกta chỉ xong nó kia thế này chỉ nuôi mình biết là các tổ chức cảm luôn chúa ở bùa gì chỗ problem là chả sao thì xong nó biết xịn này go xa lăng nó biết còn hồ sơ chỉ ít choตัวcảm và covid ít cho lỡ lâu rồiตัวthế này giờ tổ mất thả sang nó mới tu sửa cơ biết chuột chơi cái đó chỉ họ biết còn hồ sơ này biết tôi xài cho sang đó chỉ cho sang đó là biết chuột chơi cái rồi
cú thập phim lo lùa thì bây giờ nên sẽ được mong cho sáng được số mong nó thay cú bỏ thì cú chỉ chừng bỏ ít cho cú tu trò nữa nhiều như bỏ lỡ nhau lòng tranh nhau họ chỉ chờ lấy những dòng đó là chỉ cả là một cái cho họ lúc cũng họ rồi chỉ nhau tao và tao chế là chỉ họ nói mà chỉ có ta chỉ mà giờ sẽ được tự cho lên nó lại nó chỉ sao cả sẽ được tôi muốn cả cho họ lúc cũng tu trò cú gì bỏ chừng số nữa cho cú là cú cả và như bao nè ta chỉ mà chỉ cả và tôi muốn member tôi muốn chỉ cho nó này để cú thọ mua luôn cả nó hiện phong để cho đời nữa nên thì tôi học cú tu trò thì có tuần cả tôi chỉ chơi chuyện cả rồi họ thì nhau lúc đấy cho nó bê mua ở bê giờ chỉ chân xí nữa ý bê phụ nữ nó giờ ra đàn nữ xí nữa họ giờ bê một bọn bà xí họ bê nó tổ nhau tổ là sai tổ nữa họ thì bê giờ tổ lúc còn cú tu trò này cả phèn nên hú hay nên hú ủi lên nó cả lục bao cái tên là tên chủ luôn nó sửa là thế là bao thì bê mong là bây giờ refugee political bây giờ immigration còn nó thì mù đi đây thì mù đến đây mà sẽ là còn nó thì họ chiến trị当地人民有咪都民有么嘛了要了咯，但是被迫呢嘛也主要的很多呢，也不讨厌红色的，叫我都找我，你要到我到这，你只干干了，也你去啥里家呢？俺做的好，把他那收入供我，但是呢都我也有落鸟的好呢，我走啊。
问题啊了，不太什么了的，但是呢这种都好多的股呢，叫股都找得点呢。那好多的股是股人搞那么非常farm样的叫那差不多，这种多你包的那人得股就蛮变了，叫大领导那这但是那么叫落，还的股还得被杀了那个，但是被我们弄了嘛，人家那么还是说真不真。这要头背多那那这样的到 stay 了要来叫那准备干了弄那些真多些。你叫整，一叫做，你起码起码 pro 这被去啥崩全部的那天呢那，也么古么弄人家个讲话个，人家来了还天那这，当地那假如来么搬全弄呢，来的我被我那被我好整呀对，好做呀对，头来一对 interview 么还里头被多地太多了嘛，我人家呢叫问的这了审判的叫督者呢，审判的真真的话真的样。chọn bây giờ tất cả chỉ pan trên chấm lên này chỉ chọn đông cũng chẳng thể chọn nhau tụi mình cũng xin ta chỉ giờ này chỉ muốn chọn tới nó chỉ là tất cả là chơi vậy đó giờ họ từng mình cũng là tụi tất cả cái cũng tụi bây giờ nhau pan này cùng thì cũng bao cho nó rong rồi bây giờ tụi chờ pan đi trả tụi đấy chuyện nó lấy khởi cho nó critic giờ tụi nó chơi cái nó sẽ chỉ ít bia gì là chính cái là để họ nói họ tại sao cháu lúa ít cháu chỉ cần chân bé chỉ cả là bé giờ này ít xong cháu lâu bảy đa kia là thế luôn.
Cụ tao mua cái shit tha cho đối tượng này của America, như vậy tụi cụ trả đạt lô tua cho, tụi tôi giờ đạt lô tua cho, nhớ tụi tới chấm lo giờ ta lò, lu chạy thằng này tôi giờ đạt lô tua cho, nhớ tụi tới chấm lo, nếu lu đạt lô tua cho tụi tới bông là để tụi cho nhớ là cổ tê, thiên để tụi cơ nhớ chỉ là chui nhớ tụi nhớ là cổ tê, tụi đầu cha nên để trâu lu xong. Chuẩn gì nó cũng cho bên một sai sau cái shit than thằng này mình chỉ thiết tạo can để nó vô bỏ cho này là hài lù nhất rồi lúc công trình nó.
It's a high honor for me, John Borlang, Major General Air Force retired, to join the Hmong Lao veterans and the Lao veterans of America here in Wisconsin, along with the 100th anniversary of the VFW, actually 101. And be a small part of a very important program this morning. So it's my honor again. Thank you very much.
tell some history about yourself in the past that you involved with Laos?
Sure. I'm a 37-year Air Force veteran, a fighter pilot, certainly flew in the Vietnam War. I was flying out of Yuban, Thailand, so not far from the border. Paksi, for example, was very close, and had occasion to meet General Vang Pao. Almost landed at L-36 one night when I was out of gas, but got back to Vientiane. Got shot down on my 97th mission over North Vietnam, and broke my back and was all crippled, and got captured trying to evade, and spent 6.5 years as a POW in Vietnam. Have high respect for the people who were engaged in that conflict, and while the cost was very high, if you look at where things are today, the contributions made by family members, and certainly the Hmong Lao people gave more than their share. We can boast of a good circumstance in Southeast Asia today from a world standpoint. So the fact that you've decided to settle here in the Midwest is, welcome. All right.
So how long you been there? I mean,
how long was I? I was in Thailand for about 7-8 months, and then I got shot down, and I was 6.5 years as a POW in Hanoi.
My name is David Green. I'm the state adjutant for the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of Wisconsin. This is our 101st anniversary. We wanted to do something very, very special, and last year we also recognized the Wisconsin Lao Veterans of America at our state convention, and there were 18 participants and honored guests to be recognized by our audience and our membership. 2/3 of our membership are Vietnam veterans, and we want to do something for them. And also we recognize that only 10% of the Vietnam veterans in Wisconsin have joined our organization. So this event here is for them and for our honored guests as well to say, welcome home.
And the leadership here represented of the Lao American veterans, Wisconsin deputation, if you will. I told them earlier that I'm honored to be part of their program. And having had personal contact with General Vang Pao during the Vietnam War, and having known some of the sites where they served, this is a particular coming home. So we start there. Is that okay? You know, I was a POW in North Vietnam, and in the course of that 6.5 years, and I may as well tell the story that I was on my 97th mission. Officially, I was on about 113 because I volunteered for another 100. Flying out of Yuban, Thailand, I wanted to fly with Robin Olds when he was coming in. For those of you who remember that name from that long ago and far away. But on a mission deep, well north of Hanoi, only flew combat. I flew some in South Vietnam, but the F4 combat was north into, and from day one, we didn't have any warm-ups. We were at Pac 6 or up around Hanoi from those first days before Christmas in '65. But anyway, got up there and going after a JCS target, a bridge, Bakyang Railway Bridge, and got there and found out it was already down, so swung north. It was along Highway 1 that goes from Hanoi on up to China, and there was lots of truck traffic. Made a couple of passes, and on the second pass got shot down or the tail was taken off the airplane and ejected. And got, when you eject from an airplane, you get a swing, and then you get a shock first, and then you get a swing. I got the shock and hit the ground. That's how low it was, and bounced down a furrowed, cultivated hill about a 1/4 mile, and rolled up at the bottom, all broken up. I had a broken back, and everything was sprained. Couldn't walk, and they're actually all around. So I crawled into a log, a huge decaying log that I would never crawl into, and did something brave, like I passed out. From fear and shock and all that stuff. When I came to, they had been all around shooting. They had migrated up the hill and over the hill, and I was able to get, with the aid of the staff, out of the log and then over to the road, which was over by the door here at my left 10 o'clock. Because I had a plan. The plan was I couldn't walk, and I was jump trained at Fort Benning. I'd been through a little bit of ranger. I was not a ranger, but I'd run Victory Pond and done all that stuff more than I wanted, and done the Slide of Life and done some other rappelling things. So I'd had some training there, and then I was a survival instructor. I was trained instead and trained the Air Force Academy cadets, of which I was one, for 2 summers in survival things. So I thought, God, I was Rambo. They were never going to get me. But Rambo could walk, and I couldn't walk. So I elected to try to steal a truck. There was a lot of truck traffic. And I was going to have them take me to the coast. This, by the way, is in my book over here that I'll wave at you later, called Taps on the Walls. And I got in the middle of the road, got my gun out, my 6-shooter, and hijacked the truck. How's that? It's only 10 minutes and 43 seconds to the coast. Oh yeah, that's at 420 knots. So I figured we could fight our way to the coast. I'd steal a boat, go south. I'd be in that crap bait we were talking about earlier, in the Dang bar, in a couple weeks. Piece of cake. So I get the truck stopped. I have hijacked the truck. I have hijacked a truck full of North Vietnamese regular troops. You think that's funny? I think it's funny. It is a management decision I have reviewed a time or two, but that started 6.5 years of incarceration. And the first part of the years were pretty brutal, as you all know. You've read the stories. And people say, well, how did you survive that 6.5+ years? And they said, survive, was important. And I said, not really. Not really. Survival with honor meant everything. We wanted you to be proud of us. We knew it was a tough time for America. We didn't have any news. In fact, we were kept isolated or semi-isolated for years in very constrictive circumstances. I mean, about the size of this little platform up here. No ventilation, nothing but a speaker that would play propaganda from time to time, a light bulb that burned 24 hours a day. And so we communicated through the walls with the tap code that many of you know about. Perhaps some of you don't. Some of you don't. Do you know about the tap code? You don't know about the tap code. Another training aid ready for the kill. This is the tap code. It's in the book. It's the way we talk through walls, one to another. You should learn this because the next time you get thrown in jail, you'll be able to talk to the person next to you. I said that once. I was in Seattle, and I used that line. And this guy, I said, next time, he said, how did you know? How did you know? In any event, the tap code, you just array the 26-letter alphabet in rows of 5, columns of 5, leaving 1 out. That's K, and there's a way that you get around K. And so at night, we would sign off with which says GBU, God bless you. Now, we would call up when we thought it was clear, because if you got caught communicating, as many of you know, you get hurt badly. They would brutalize you. But I had to make time an ally. That old line from Thoreau again, how do you waste time without injuring eternity? And so all of us were highly competitive, so we tried to do things that would exercise our mind. And in my case, I started writing poetry in my mind. And this book resulted. In other words, I carried this in mentally carried it, I tapped it through the walls, so my wife and little girl, in case I didn't make it, would have legacy. Well, I did make it. I went to the Clark Air Force Base BX within an hour of getting to Clark in February of '73, and walked into the VX and said to the manager of the VX, I'm still in the bathroom. I said, I need a tape recorder. And he said, okay. And he came back with this shoebox looking thing. And I said, no, I don't want a radio, I want a tape recorder, like an NKAAJ or a Tamberg with the reels and the tapes. Everybody knows that, certainly. And he laughed and handed me a cassette recorder. You talk about future shock. And of course, now today, if we handed this cassette recorder to one of the teenagers, they wouldn't know what the heck it was either. And then I started to download all these poems that I'd written in my mind. And had done so with the idea that at some point in time, maybe they'd have some utility beyond what they did for me, which is basically keep me sane and provide mental fodder for people who tap it through the wall.
ลูกกงเชิงในปอตาละนออย่าลูกกงเชิงวันจะจออีปัวชงเดี๋ยวลูกกงหกุตัวจอเมกามุลุเบหัวเดีย VFW อีจงใช้เฉลยกูจะสอสื่อจะตัวท่าอย่าโดนชมพงชาเตออย่าโดนรู้โจลินตัวนุติโกเปชงเส้นก็อ้อละสลินอซื้อกูมุลุจงเชียตัวจงนนดาวตัวในชั่วเล่นสุดตัวใจอย่าโดนขัดตือตัวที่เราใช้ชอบชมพงอย่าโดนนอthọ có lương tu lưu tế bỏ hưởng nên số lên số tụ cả chuẩn chỉ cái nó cá nhau rong, cú hiểu rất là bảo là bên mà sinh chỉ đùa.